Here's Lou Whelan. Welcome to Atlanta Community Profiles, a show about living in Atlanta and purchasing a home here. Atlanta Community Profiles is hosted by Lou Whelan, who will talk to experts who know this ever-changing city and its real estate industry. We'll talk to mayors, community leaders, and residential real estate experts. Now, here's Lou Whelan with this week's Atlanta Community Profiles.
Hello there and welcome to our show. My name is Lou Whelan. I publish Atlanta Community Profiles magazines that are distributed by the First Multiple Listing Service of Atlanta. We have one for the metro area, one for Inside 285, one for North Fulton in partnership with the North Fulton Chamber of Commerce, and one with in Gwinnett with the Gwinnett Chamber, one for Cobb County with the Cobb Association of Realtors, and they're available at all real estate or most real estate brokerage firms and chambers of commerce at no charge. They are available on my website, AtlantaCommunityProfiles.com. Along with additional information about our great city. I'm also a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Georgia Properties, and I handle commercial, residential, and investment real estate. And my website is LouWhelan.com. Let me know if I can help you in any way. Be happy to do that. And just as a quick overview for last year, the for detached homes, the sales were up 3% and prices were up 5%, and the median price was $294.88 for detached last year. So that's just a quick overview. Anyway, as you know, each week we interview people who are contributing to the well-being of our community, our city, and making sacrifices. And thank God we have people that are willing to make sacrifices and contribute to the city. And today we have one of my favorite people and personality of the year. Look at that smile. What a winner of a smile. I mean, you can't see it on the radio, but on Facebook you can see it. Mayor Vince Williams, welcome back to the show, Mayor. Great to have you on the show, as always. Appreciate it.
Lou, thank you for having me. It is my pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And Mayor is just one of those guys that pretty much everybody likes. I mean, he's like the personality of the year award. You know, one thing I thought I would do, Mayor, is usually when I get somebody's bio, I start at the top.
Please don't read mine.
I'm going to start at the bottom of yours.
Okay.
And listen to this. He is a devout Christian, humbly serves God under the leadership of Senior Pastor Andre Landers at Higher Living Christian Church as an ordained elder, but most importantly, a worshiper. Mayor Williams is an active servant of the church's Community Impact Center, serving as community liaison, Christian counselor, and member of Higher Living Christian Church Board of Directors. He's also a certified Christian educator, and he is married to a lady whose first name is the same as my daughter, Sharon Williams, and they have a beautiful daughter, Nia.
Yes.
So, but he is somebody who has devoted his life to service to the community. His list of boards would take all day, the whole show, just to list all the memberships that he's had, but where he serves as a board member. He graduated from a college in Memphis, Tennessee, right. Lemoyne Owen College, Memphis, Tennessee.
That's correct.
And he says on his bio that he has had an opportunity to serve on many boards, and believe me, I got a full typewritten sheet listing all of these, and not in paragraph form. But here's a question that'll put you on the spot.
Sure.
What boards do you serve on, or have you served on, that enabled you to contribute most to the community, do you think?
I would have to say, Lou, those boards that impact families and children. I serve on the board with Southwest Christian Care, which is in Union City. Serve on boards with a number of other churches as well. But I also participate with the juvenile justice system. So those type of boards are the ones that have the most meaning to me because you really affect people's lives daily.
Yeah. That's great. I wish I could pick out some of these to talk about. I can't talk about them all, but he was, let's see, for word of the 2015 Keep Georgia Beautiful elected official of the year. He was appointed by Governor Deal as Municipal Probation Advisory Council. Anyway, Governor Deal has appointed you to a lot of different in a lot of different areas. I know that.
Pleasure to really serve in the capacity that he saw that I might be able to assist in making a change, and I was very appreciative to that. The last appointment I got from Governor Deal was to the 911 Advisory Council. So I'm excited about those type of opportunities. As I said, they help, but also affect change in people's daily lives.
Well, first of all, let me just start by saying thank you for the service that you've rendered to the community.
Thank you.
And now, tell us, when was your first term as mayor of Union City?
My first term as mayor was 2013.
2013, okay.
2013. We're just coming behind my re-election cycle, if you will, of 2017.
Okay.
But I had the great pleasure and the blessing of not having any opponents. So that was what they call a sweatless victory.
I can see why that nobody would want to run against you. I mean, that's pretty obvious. I attended a South Fulton Chamber of Commerce function recently where he was like Mr. Popularity, popular guy of the year. Anyway, Union City is a really cool place. That population is 21,189 median. And growing. I noticed that you were 18,000 in 2010, I think. Median household income is $53,000. You're 15 minutes from downtown Atlanta, 10 miles from the airport, and home to the great Metro Studios.
Atlanta Metro Studios, yes.
Studios, and so many other things that we're going to talk about today. The tax allocation district, the opportunity zone, foreign trade zone. We're going to talk about we're going to ask him about the transportation.
Great.
And senior living facilities. We're going to talk a lot about your great city, Mayor. And but one of the things that strikes me when I looked over your website that I was most impressed with is the fact that 54% of the land area is undeveloped. How does that impact your community?
Well, it impacts us in a positive way because, as you know, the Metro Atlanta area is certainly trying to attract a number of opportunities, namely Amazon HQ, if you will. So we have in Union City, inside of our city limits, the largest undeveloped land opportunity anywhere in the metro area as it relates to Hartsfield. As you stated earlier, we're 10 miles south of the airport, which equates to 7 minutes if you ride with me to the airport. So certainly it's a great opportunity for all of us.
You're a special character. I know the police have heard about you. They don't mess around with you. They know you're the greatest guy in town, so let him ride, let him go. He needs to get there.
But this puts us in a real game-changing environment with that land opportunity to be able to build, but also attract, if you will.
Well, do you have your designs on any particular industry, or is it the most movie I know you've done extremely well with the movie industry.
Well, we've been blessed with the Atlanta Metro Studios, which is, at this very moment, the largest purpose-built film studio in North America to date. So we're excited about that. They've had some great projects, and they're working on some great projects as we speak right now. But, we focus on those things and those entities that are interested in coming to our area. Namely, we've been able to attract a lot of e-commerce and industrial type development. But we're looking at scaling back, if you will, because now it's time for us to be able to look at opportunities of small retail. Because to be perfectly honest, if you follow the market as I have, and I'm certain you do, retail has made us shift. Retail, you notice, you got
sure.
retailers who are closing their stores and their doors each and every day. So we got to look at what's going to be able to come in and be a part of our communities.
Well, I will say that in last December,
Mm-hmm.
the median price of homes sold in Union City was $142,000, which is a big increase over previous years. In December of 2013, it was $96,000. So the prices are going up, but they're still unbelievably reasonable.
Now is the time to buy.
Now is the time to buy. I bet the people, when they come from California and New York and the movie industry, probably ask, is that the monthly rent? Or is that
Exactly. They do.
Isn't that the price? So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Lou Whelan, sitting here with our friend Mayor Vince Williams of the city of Union City. Population 21,000, and 54% of the land area is undeveloped and available for lots of different industries, and being close to Atlanta and the airport, I'm sure bode extremely well for their attractiveness for industry. And I noticed one thing on your website, Mayor, and that was you're building a new community center, 25,000 square feet.
Right. We went to the voters in November of 2016 because this will be the first multi-purpose community center in Union City. Union City's never had an enclosed gymnasium, never had a community center, if you will. And the voters said, yes, we want it. So we are certainly in the process of building that new $5 million structure.
When do you have a completion date set?
Well, we're looking at hopefully before the end of this year.
This year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, maybe just ask you to run down a list of the major employers in your city.
Sure. No problem. As I said earlier, we have certainly been an attraction to the industrial and e-commerce entities, if you will. A lot of folks like to refer to them as warehouses, but they're no longer granddaddy's warehouse. These are innovative but also technology-equipped and driven in enterprises. So just to name a few that we have in Union City right now, we have Amazon is in Union City. We have Procter & Gamble in Union City. We have Walmart e-commerce, the second largest Walmart e-commerce facility in the country. Google has a presence in Union City. DHL is housed in Union City as well. We package Carrot Green Mountain Coffee right behind the movie studios in that facility back there. And as I said earlier, we have Atlanta Metro Studios, where who knows who you may see one day walking down the streets in Union City. Dwayne, The Rock Johnson, Kevin Hart. You just never know who you may run into. But also we have a new facility coming online, which we should be able to cut that ribbon by July or August of this year, and that is ASOS. It's ASOS. It's a online British retailer that caters to the millennial crowd. So we're excited about them. They're building a huge facility, and this will be their first presence not only in the U.S., but we are proud that they're making their first presence in the U.S. in Union City. So we're excited about that. So we have a lot of industry there. We have a long-standing relationship with a number of your car dealers. we have what we call Car Dealership Row in Union City, right off 138 or Jonesboro Road, for those of you who may be listening. And many of us make that one of our stops when we're looking for a new vehicle or a used vehicle. So we're excited about having them there. And, it's just a great time to be not only in Metro Atlanta, but certainly in Union City. We're certainly reaping the rewards of this economy that is shifting, and we're excited about it.
Well, it's not. I know that everybody's talking about Amazon these days. If I were with Amazon and I were to ask you, Mayor, why should I locate in Union City? How would you address that?
Well, the first thing I would share with you is our proximity to the airport. Mm-hmm. Number two would be our proximity to the major interstate nodes, 75, 85, 285, and 20. So certainly we have an attraction that a lot of cities don't have. There are a number of cities that are around us who don't have the proximity or the ability to get in and off of the interstates. This is where a lot of these businesses want to be able to cart, if you will, their freight, if you will, to get it to other destinations. But being in Union City and being in Georgia, as you know, we have been tabbed for 5 years in a row, the number one state to do business in, thanks to Governor Deal and his whole team. That has been a great benefit to all of us, but certainly we in Union City are proud of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, you certainly have the available land, and it's pretty reasonable, too.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
It's unheard of, really, to find that much land at such a reasonable price,
right.
Close to the airport and downtown.
Exactly.
So good luck with that. I know that that company and many others are looking at ours very hard, long and hard, and I'm sure that you guys will be very successful. I'd like to just shift gears a little bit here and talk a little bit about some of the lifestyle aspects. And I noticed that you have a greatly enhanced park trail system, an 18-hole golf course, and a 500-acre senior housing facility.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about how those impact your community.
Well, they are an attraction for folks who are looking for a calmer environment, if you will. A lot of folks don't want to live in the hustle and bustle of Atlanta. That's not a negative take on Atlanta, but some people don't want the Atlanta lifestyle. They want to be able to live in an environment that, is easy for them to get around. Mobility is key. We'll talk about transportation a little later,
we'll talk
I'm sure.
about that next.
But the Christian City senior environment is something that a lot of seniors from around the country, when they're looking for a place to retire, a place to call home, Christian City is one of their destinations. So we're excited about that. A lot of folks talk about Arizona, Florida, and different things like that. But Union City is one of those places they look at. Mm-hmm. I was surprised to find that out myself. Mm-hmm. So we're excited about that. But certainly with the amenities that we have, the golf course, but also other recreational opportunities for families. We want to make sure that we hone in on those desires, but also those necessary quality of life amenities that many of us deserve.
I heard that you have a pretty popular restaurant there called the Green Manor Restaurant.
Yes, it is. I tell you, the Green Manor is one of the celebrity restaurants, if you will. We get so many folks from around all of Metro Atlanta that come and visit that restaurant for their fine soul food cuisine, if you will. So it's a great place to go to. I mean, it's like having dinner at grandma's house on Sunday.
How long has
that's every day,
How long has it been in business? It's been a long time.
I really can't give you the exact date, but I know I've been in the Metro Atlanta area for over 22 years, and the Green Manor has been around for as long as I've been here.
Okay, well, we're going to get to transportation, but I would like to ask you a question here. There you have three other aspects of the community that are very appealing as a business, and that is you have a tax allocation district, an opportunity zone, and a foreign trade zone.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about those and how they have an impact on your city.
Well, most cities have a toolbox, if you will, that gives you an opportunity to offer incentives. Those are several incentives that we can offer where the tax allocation district, that's something where we partner with the county. We also partner with the school board because they give up a little bit to allow development to take place in an underserved area of a designated portion that you look at in your city. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about, certainly the foreign trade zone and certainly
the opportunity zone.
And the opportunity zone as well.
So you have a 600-acre mixed-use development going on as a direct result of your tax allocation.
Yes,
district.
sir, we do.
So we'll talk about that when we get back after the break. Welcome back. I'm Lou Wieland, publisher of Atlanta Community Profiles magazines. Sitting here with our good friend Mayor Vince Williams, mayor of the great city of Union City. And if you missed any of the show, it's on my website, AtlantaCommunityProfiles.com, without commercial interruption. And Mayor, I'm sorry we had to interrupt you, but my producer over there was giving me the evil eye. We had to cut for a break. But tax allocation district, opportunity zone, foreign trade zone, all three combined to make your city very attractive for business.
Especially to industry that houses goods, if you will. That's why we have industry like Google, Amazon, Walmart e-commerce, because they have goods that they have to store, if you will, and the foreign trade, but also the taxation of those things aren't taxed until they actually sell them. Mm-hmm. It's not fair to an industry to tax them when they're just sitting there. So we offer that opportunity to them, mm-hmm. But with the opportunity zone, that's open to a number of areas in the metro Atlanta area, but also all over the state of Georgia. As something that the state allows and offers for areas that may have had some blighted area, if you will, mm-hmm. and you're looking to develop it or redevelop it. Mm-hmm. And it helps with offering that opportunity to developers and construction.
It's a matter of tax credit.
Oh, certainly.
Is what it entails.
Exactly.
Or how does that work anyway?
Well, it's a complicated process.
I know it has something to do with your withholding taxes or something?
It's not necessary. Now, with the tax allocation district, let's go back to the opportunity zone. Okay. What that does, as well as the tax allocation district, if you hire full-time, employees, you get I think it's a $3,000 tax credit for each full-time employee that you hire.
Okay.
And that's a huge break for a number of businesses that come in.
Sure. 10 employees is 30,000.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. That's huge.
Or 100 employees.
So it's part of the consensus of building collaboration, if you will. We want to bring in business to our area. We want to create job opportunities for the folks that live in the area and even outside of the area. So we have to have those types of things in place because we don't have the tools or the opportunity to do what big cities like Atlanta, Philadelphia, Minneapolis, those huge cities have. So, these have been beneficial to smaller cities, if you will.
Okay, so we'll have to go to transportation now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's transportation and education are the two big driving
mm-hmm.
forces
mm-hmm.
In Atlanta for business and personal life.
Right.
And tell us a little bit about your paradigm on the transportation issues facing our city and your metro area and your city in particular.
Well, I tell you, with the growth of industry in our area, we have seen the growth of transportation challenge, if you will. And I applaud it because it means that things are going great. But we must take a look at how we move people around, how we allow people to be able to get back and forth to work, to get to school, to just to be able to be mobile, if you will. And I have been blessed to be able to take several trips with a number of Georgia's leaders around the country. We took a trip to Dallas, Plano, Texas as well, but also San Diego, and we also visited Los Angeles to look at what they're doing with their transit. And one of the things we have been discussing over the past 2 years, all of the South Fulton mayors and then the not the South Fulton, but the Fulton County Board of Commissioners, we've been sitting down over the past few years trying to carve out how do we address this thing called transportation and transit. You know, we were fortunate last year to be able to get the T-SPLOS passed. Mm-hmm. That's a part of it. We've got to make sure we take care of our roads and our infrastructure, if you will. Mm-hmm. So we were able to get that passed, you know, which is a 3/4 of a penny, you know. So certainly that helps. And in that equation, you're looking at over $570 million that will be funneled in to just take care of all of our infrastructure and challenges, if you will. But for Union City, that equates to a little over $23 million that we will capture over the next 5 years to be able to take care of maintenance, infrastructure, resurfacing, building new sidewalks, trails, bike paths, different things like that. Anything that has to do with mobility that falls under that guide of transit and transportation.
Yeah, you have. I know you're doing some work on improving your parks and trail system.
Yes, indeed.
And is that what you're using those funds for?
We're using those funds for some of those things as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back. I'm Lou Whelan with Mayor Vince Williams, and by the way, it's on my website, this whole interview with AtlantaCommunityProfiles.com, and we're talking about transportation, and there are two sets of acronyms that apply to transportation, BRT and ART.
Yes.
Take it, Mayor.
Okay. Well, Lou, BRT is Bus Rapid Transit, and ART is Arterial Rapid Transit. Now, both of those are what I would liken to light rail, if you will, on rubber tires. You know, we saw it in action in Los Angeles, and it's something that it's a mode of transit and transportation that would work for the metro Atlanta area. But it also provides opportunity to not just be inside of Atlanta or on the north side, because most of us on the south side have felt, but it's a reality that it had been underserved as it relates to the transportation nodes and modes, if you will. So this allows us to be able to get some of the transit needs addressed with these types of transit opportunities, because these are placed in dedicated lanes, and it doesn't interfere with your other normal traffic flow, if you will. So it's almost like having light rail, but it's a bus opportunity. But we are having those discussions about light rail, especially in South Fulton, especially on the South Fulton Parkway area, which is going to be one of the most beautiful areas in all of metro Atlanta once it's built out.
When is that expected?
Well, I tell you, with all of the undeveloped land in that area, most of us won't be here when it's done, but we've got to start the work now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Better start with better
Yeah.
start.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. We got to make sure that we're not only fiduciary but responsible to make sure that we build a system that not only addresses transit needs of today, but those of tomorrow and many years to come. You know.
So, Mayor, the two issues that Atlanta Regional Council found are key issues are transportation and education. Tell us a little bit about education.
Well, with education, I would have to share with you, you know, our South Fulton schools are not only improving, but they are making great strides towards success. We have several schools that were on what has been likened to or called a failing list. And a number of those schools have not only been removed from that list, they are excelling in a lot of areas as it relates to graduation rates, but also reading and comprehension. You know, so certainly we're excited about those things because when you talk to industry and they're interested in coming to your area, that's one of the first things they ask. How are the schools? And certainly we are able to celebrate with what's happening. Dr. Jeff Rose has been phenomenal in assisting in making sure that he brings up the level. But we got a lot of great educators in our area. One that I have to say is Dr. Duke Bradley over at Banneker High School. That is a phenomenal young man, and he is invested in that community, in that school. So I'm certainly excited about what he's doing.
Yeah, I was impressed with what you're doing with workforce development.
Yes,
and,
sir.
You have something called the Fulton Schools College and Career Academy, which is training students in technical areas,
right?
Which is where we need employees.
And not just the technical area. They focus in film and technology. They also focus in construction, but also culinary and aviation. So that's something we really got to look at because if you think about aviation, but also the technology industry, we're moving towards this area, if you will, of drones. If kids go in and learn how to operate, but also be able to